Drive-in STL with Dan Buck. Hi.
We're excited, man. Thanks for talking about Drive-In St. Louis, our second year. It's going to be awesome.
Let's start at the very beginning. Let's talk about the history.
We're a sports venue here at the Powerplex and run volleyball and basketball and baseball trainings and softball and baseball venues. And when COVID hit, it was obviously devastating. I mean, all youth sports was shut down, and we had some decisions to make economically, obviously, when your entire industry shut down. And I said, we're one of the most creative groups of people in St. Louis. I love my team. And I challenged them. I said, we've got to be thinking out of the box here. We've got to pivot. We clearly aren't going to be able to do youth sports for a while. What else can we do? So we sat down with the health department. We went through, what would be allowed, what wouldn't be allowed. And at the same time, we also had one of our team members who had a senior in high school and was not going to be able to graduate. And I said, that's absolutely unacceptable. These seniors have lost so much. They'd lost their proms. They'd lost their spring sports. They'd lost, that whole senior experience that most kids get to experience. I said, one thing they're going to do is they're going to get a graduation across the stage and be able to have people applaud. And we're just going to do it a little bit differently. So the whole concept of drive-in started to honor our seniors and to try to get as many school districts on board to create an incredible graduation experience. And as we built it out and we figured out how we were going to hang these jumbotrons and bring in a giant stage and put the turf down, I looked at it and I go, that's one heck of a concert venue,
Right.
And so we immediately, from the time we decided and we got some schools on board, we graduated about 3,500 seniors from 14 different schools. And as we were going through that, at the same time, we were marketing our first concerts, and we went from concept to idea in about 3.5 weeks. And I said, that isn't a tribute to your band or to your team of people. We'd never held a concert in our lives. I mean, we're sports people. So the fact that our team was able to pull off, 16 concerts and 14 graduations over a 9-week period, we welcomed 60,000 people onto our parking lot and had a party. I mean, the graduations, there will be some school districts that will never go back to a traditional graduation again, because this is not a COVID compromise. This is the absolute best way to hold a graduation. You're not cooped up in an auditorium, need a knee or need a back and packed into a venue. Everybody has their own party pad. The families all come out. We don't limit how many people in the family can come. Every family has 12, 14 people there. There's tailgate parties going out on the parking lot, and the same for the concerts. I think people, when they experience a drive-in concert, will recognize that this is something special. You totally get to relax. You get to spread out. You can walk around. You can go to the food trucks. You can go to the hospitality tent and get a fabulous, cold drink. And we got mixed drinks. We have frozen drinks. We got all the different, fun stuff. But when you go back to your party pad, it's just you, your family, your friends, a party of 8, party of 10 if you're down on our turf pads. And you just get to relax in a very different kind of concert environment. You're not right on top of each other. It's very COVID safe, but I'd argue it's just a great way to experience live music, a lot of freedom.
I call this the pandemic positive. There's a lot of positives that have come out of this. The whole new nostalgia. Drive-ins. Oh my gosh, that alone right there. It's brilliant.
I went up to a carload of, I shouldn't say seniors. They were about my age. They were there, and they had a bunch of young kids with them. They had a whole carload, about 7 people. And it was grandma, grandpa, daughter, and her husband, and their 3 children. And I said, hey, are you guys having a good time? And the grandma got all filled up. And she said, this is how I spent my weekends as a kid, going to the drive-in. And it's so awesome. I get to share this experience with my grandkids who don't even know what a drive-in is. Right. And she said, this is just fantastic. And everybody in the family was having a great time. And I think that's what's neat about it. You're giving people that nostalgic, although they are high definition LED screens that are 10 times brighter than any drive-in screen you've ever seen. But they get to experience a whole, hour and a half, 2-hour concert followed by a 2-hour movie. It's 4 hours of entertainment. And I think it breaks down, if you take our general admission ticket, I think it breaks down to $6 a person if you load up a carload of 8 people. So, our whole goal is to make it affordable, fun, obviously safe, but just get our community back together. We got to get out and start doing stuff again. And our world's changed, but the need for social interaction and community doesn't change. Enjoy a great concert, enjoy a movie, and just stay in your pod all night. No one's going to bother you. Nobody's going to come in your space, and you get to go get in your car when the 4-hour show is, the movie and concert are done, and you've never had to interact with anybody. But if you're a little more social and you want to go down and you got your shots and you want to have a big party with 4 other couples and have a party on the turf, that's totally acceptable too. And that's what we create, kind of a mixed bag. Social as you want to be, and a biggest party and dance all night down on the turf or in the VIP section, or be very safe and remote. And especially if you're medically compromised, we encourage you to do that and make sure that you're smart about it. But last year, 60,000 people, we didn't have one contact tracing report with the health department that ever came back to any of our graduates, any of our employees, any of our band members. We did it right. We did it safe, and we're going to do it bigger and better this year.
Let's talk about the music.
These are amazing artists, and I think St. Louis, people don't understand how much talent is in this town.
There is. I know
it is remarkable, the music talent that we're going to put on this stage. 46 local bands are going to play our venue this year. But then we also, each month, we're going to try to feature one national act that brings back a lot of great memories. And Ambrosia is one of those bands. And some people in your audience may be going, Ambrosia, what exactly did they sing again, right?
Yeah, isn't that a salad?
Yeah, exactly. And people don't know the number of hits they had. It was unbelievable. They kind of had a 2-life career, right? They had those early 70s where they were a little more rock. They were a little more, edgy, if you will. And then they kind of transitioned late 70s and into the 80s with the love songs and, the You Make Me Feel and those, great hits that everybody is familiar with. But when you go out and just search Ambrosia songs, and you'll be blown away by the number of hits and songs that you recall. And if you don't recall them, you need to bring your mom and dad with you then, because they will recall them. And we think it's cool. It's on Mother's Day. We've had so many people who've been buying tickets saying what a great Mother's Day gift. And, grandma's sometimes tough to buy for. Especially if she's in her late 50s, 60s, this is the gift to give to mom or grandma, because she remembers Ambrosia. She would love to get the family together and have a Saturday night of Mother's Day weekend with some of those great hits.
It's like a double gift. It's like you're going to be with her and give her this gift of sharing her music, which I'm telling you, once they share, these kids that are covering hits from the 70s and 80s, I love it. You go on TikTok and you see them, and it's like, wow, this is awesome.
We had a band last year, actually, a young group of high school kids who played as one of our warm-up acts. And one of the songs they played was Ambrosia. And I'm like, how awesome is that, to hear a bunch of 16, 17, 18-year-olds singing a great hit from Ambrosia from the 1974 or 75. And I'm like, and I think that was yesterday, one of their big hits. So anyway, it's just, I think people are going to love the lineup. They're going to, and I always say, we're that alternative to the high ticket, the $13 beers, being knee to back and shoulder to shoulder with other people. We're totally the opposite. We know our lane. We know who we are. Drive-In St. Louis, we learned a lot of lessons last year that we're going to continue to improve on. One of the things was that the parking field was so big, we didn't have enough speakers. We were only hitting about, 3/4 of the lot. So if you came late and you're in the back, you didn't have a real good experience. This year, that is not going to be a problem. We have 24 arrays that are going to be flown. We have 24 subwoofers. I mean, this lot is going to rock like you've never heard. It's going to be an incredible experience. We've got a bigger screen that's going to be our main screen. We've got 2 more LEDs that'll be flanking. We have a new hospitality tent that's going to have incredible, specialty drinks and beers and craft beers and all kinds of stuff over in the. And if you buy one of the VIP private party pads, you also get an after party that also has live music. So when the concert's over, the movie's over, you can go have another 2 hours of fun over in the hospitality tent. And we'll go till, midnight or a little beyond each night, having fun with all of our guests. What I am so excited about is we are really opening up our diversity. We only had 17 bands. So we hit country last year. We had one night of a little bit of hip hop. We had a little bit of current rock and roll. We did 3 or 4 nights of a lot of older rock and roll. But this year we get to bring in the fabulous Motown Review. We have a Michael
Ooh.
Jackson, Bruno Mars
Oh,
night with a
yes.
band called Jam that's just incredible. We've got the ELO tribute band, which was one of our biggest sellouts last year, Mr. Blue Sky.
Hmm.
We've got tributes, actually, I think, to the Eagles, to Santana, to Springsteen, to I know I'm forgetting a big one. We just booked one this past week. Anyway, the list goes on. You got to go to our website and see all these great tribute bands. And again, all local talent. Some of these guys are unknown because they're literally traveling all over the country, going other places to play. They just don't get a chance to play here that often because of COVID and other things. But we're excited with the lineup we've got. I think people are going to see that if you're a music lover, every Friday and Saturday night from May to October, we got a party going on.
I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. And by the way, thank you for this opportunity for musicians to work, for
Yeah.
all the tech guys, the people, the girls too, people that you are employing because of this.
Well, last year, I mean, that was another thing that really made us feel so good about drive-in is that, these musicians and talented, including the stagehands and the back of
Right.
the house guys. I mean, just so grateful to have a place to go and to play. And it was neat to see how they supported one another too. So many of the bands, when they weren't playing, because there was nowhere else to play, it wasn't like they had another gig that weekend. So they'd come out the next weekend. You'd see the whole Super Jam group of guys there to support Joe Dirt. And the following week, Joe Dirt's group was there to supporting Trixie Delight. And it was just, every week it's a family.
Sure.
The music community is so tight and they all know each other and they support each other. And last year, we were the only place that were giving them an opportunity to play, and they didn't forget that. This year, they all had gigs and they're getting back to being busy. And but when we called and they said, "You're darn right, we're playing. You were there for us when nobody else was," and it was a big financial commitment. And you can imagine, the outlay of expense to put these stages and everything up, and to keep
Yeah.
our prices affordable was our whole goal here, because we knew people just needed to get out of the house.
Hmm.
And so, even this year we have been able to keep that price point so low, $45 for a carload of 8 people for our general
Wow.
admission. And the national acts, the Ambrosia concerts, a little bit more than that, but still very affordable. If you break it out and you fill your pod, get 80 of your friends or family, it breaks out to like $6 a person.
Wow.
You can't beat that for a
No.
concert and a movie. And then if you want to buy one of the VIPs down front, which is we have an all-inclusive pad where you get 20 drinks, you get snacks, you get the after party. That's $30 a person.
Oh my
So
God, that is so inexpensive. So when
yeah,
I was going to ask about food and how does that work? Do
yeah, we're working with
can
the St.
people
Louis.
bring their own? I mean, I would rather that they, how does
Sure,
that
you can.
work?
We're not going to stop people. We're not going to, raid your picnic basket and tell
But
you
no, I
you
want
can't.
them to be able to give, people need
Sure.
jobs. So to be able to, they can
Yeah,
buy
the,
there
the
too, though, right?
the food industry obviously has been crushed, and so
Mm-hmm.
many of the restaurants had to move. So we're working with the St. Louis Food Truck Association, and every week we're going to be turning over and having fresh foods and different foods each weekend, kind of pairing some of the foods with the types of music too. From the rock and roll tacos, to some of the country barbecue, to so matching the
You should
genres
have
with the music.
ambrosia salad. I'm just saying.
We got to have somebody doing an ambrosia salad.
Right?
Hello, right? So anyway, we're going to have 3 food trucks. Probably have a dessert truck. We'll obviously have all the normal drive-in snacks. You got to have popcorn at the drive-in. You're going to
Sure.
have some of the candies and snacks and things like that. But we're just excited to be able to deliver an inexpensive, affordable night that's a safe environment, a place to just come together as a community. And I think from the early ticket sales we're seeing, it's going to be another huge success. It's fantastic.
So if you want to go, I say get on there. It's driveinstl.com. It's right there in front of you. You cannot miss
You
that.
can't miss it, right down here in front of us. Right.
And I think it's wonderful what you're doing, and I hope you continue it for many, many years, even when all the sports stuff comes back. Right?
Right.
It
Well,
really
and
will.
I think one thing we bought all this equipment, and it's because we have a 2,200 seat stadium we're going to be building soon, and that was always planned to be an outdoor concert venue and be able to roll that beautiful stage that we've got right out to second base and put about 600 people on the grass and in a lot of our big national sports tournaments, we'll be hosting concerts at all of those. So, and the jumbotrons that we have here are also going to be our scoreboards. So,
Wow.
it all worked out good. We always plan to have LED scoreboards on our trailers. So we just got them a little ahead of time so that we could put these shows on and really give St. Louis a remarkable movie and concert experience that really nowhere else. I mean, Forbes magazine, when they wrote about us last year, said that not only are we packing it in, but we're providing a one-of-a-kind experience, comboing the concerts with the movie. There were people doing drive-in concerts. There were people doing drive-in movies. We were the only ones that were putting the combination together with the concert and the movie. It's literally 4 hours of fun, and people won't be disappointed, I promise you.
And people are going to they're going to flock. You're going to be sold out. You're going to be
I
having to
love,
go
I
past
love, I love
October.
your enthusiasm, Judy. I need you on my marketing team. That's awesome.
Right? You're welcome. It's just the truth. Again, it's when people do positive things in a really horrible time, it comes back to them. So it's all, it's just a win-win again situation. So thank you again for believing in the community and doing
Well, and
something
Judy, your show
great.
does it. You do this all the time, but you always highlight what's good and right. And there's so many things in our community that are broken and a lot of hate and horrible things that are going on. But we got to focus on what our commonalities and what we all have in common. And we've always said that about sports, but we also believe that's the same about movies and concerts, that we can all come together and do fun things together and kind of put away some of the political differences and just come and have a fun time. And that's really what Drive-In St. Louis is all about. It's about community. It's about people being together, enjoying what they love, and that's live music. And we're honored to have so many great artists coming on our stage this year. Over 300 artists are going to play Drive-In St. Louis this year, and
Wow.
we're jazzed about that and putting all these local musicians to work. And if you love live music and you're sitting at home on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and you're wondering what to do, Drive-In is open every weekend for live entertainment. So come out and join us.